Imagine an intruder broke into your home and they had the power to make themselves invisible. They made absolutely no noise and gave no warning that would alert you to their presence. Can you imagine what it would be like to try to protect yourself against that threat? It would be practically impossible until it's too late. That is exactly what carbon monoxide gas acts like when it exists inside your home. About 10 years ago, I lost a close friend of mine to carbon monoxide poisoning, so I understand how dangerous and detrimental this silent killer can be. Becoming informed on this topic should be very important to everyone here because we are all at risk every single day. Today, I'm going to arm you with the proper prevention methods to keep you and your family safe. I will educate you on what carbon monoxide gas is and how it works to poison your body. Effective prevention methods can be practiced, and worst case scenario, if poisoning does occur, there are medical treatments available if it's caught in time. Let me begin with formally introducing you all to what is carbon monoxide gas, also known as AKA the silent killer, and how it quietly subdues its victims in the majority of cases in their own homes. Now, carbon monoxide gas is a gas that is poisonous to all humans and animals. It has no color, no odor, no taste. Therefore, you could be breathing in carbon monoxide right now and you would never know it. In most instances where it's used, it's mixed with another gas to give it an odor so that you can detect it by smell. Carbon monoxide is created when combustion of some sort of fuel occurs. Now, sources in your home that produce carbon monoxide can include common home appliances, gas or oil furnaces, refrigerators, dryers, ranges, water heaters, space heaters, fireplaces, charcoal grills, wood burning stoves, or even burning too many candles in a small room. Other sources of carbon monoxide come from automobiles, lawnmowers, or other gas fueled machinery. Now that you know exactly what carbon monoxide is, let me elaborate on how it works on a molecular level inside your body to cause poisoning. Carbon monoxide poisoning occurs when carbon monoxide builds up in your bloodstream. To understand this deeper, you need to understand how blood works. In your blood, there are cells called red blood cells that look like this, and they contain a substance called hemoglobin. Now, red blood cells are the only cells in your entire body with no nuclei and four open seats to carry oxygen. These red blood cells are the only ones that can transfer and carry oxygen to the other cells in your body. Now, cells need oxygen to survive, so hemoglobin molecules like this pick them up from your lungs and transport it to the cells where it's needed all over your body. Each hemoglobin molecule has four seats that can be filled with oxygen. And our cells use a form of energy called ATP, which is only produced during certain chemical reactions that depend on oxygen as the main catalyst. With no oxygen and chemical reactions not occurring, the cells in your brain, heart, and lungs begin to die. For example, imagine yourself and two of your friends waiting for a car ride from a third friend who's going to take you to school. When your friend arrives, they already have three people in their vehicle and leave no room for you and your classmates to get in. When you ask them why they did such a thing, they explain to you that these three friends are more closely bonded to him than you and your classmates who need a ride. So as long as they're present or in need, there's no room for you. Carbon monoxide bonds better with your red blood cells than oxygen is capable of. So essentially, the carbon monoxide gas fills the four seats of the hemoglobin molecule, leaving the oxygen out. Carbon monoxide basically causes your cells to starve to death from a lack of oxygen, and this can cause serious permanent damage and death. Large levels of this gas can kill you in minutes, but small levels over time can also cause serious damage and death as well. It sticks so well to your hemoglobin cells that it absolutely will not release. And when this occurs, carbon monoxide and hemoglobin binding, the product is called carboxyhemoglobin. When carboxyhemoglobin begins to accumulate in the human body, there are signs and symptoms that will actually occur, and you will know that the person has been poisoned. What are the symptoms? According to OSHA, symptoms or signs of carbon monoxide poisoning include a dull headache, weakness, dizziness, nausea, vomiting, shortness of breath, confusion, blurred vision, fast breathing, chest pain, or even loss of consciousness. If a person begins to experience these signs and symptoms, they're suffering from exposure to carbon monoxide poisoning. So, how does carbon monoxide poisoning occur? According to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, sources of carbon monoxide include kerosene, gas space heaters, leaking chimneys, furnaces, backdraft from furnaces, water heaters, stoves, fireplaces, all the things that we also discussed earlier. Now, carbon monoxide building up in a confined space poorly ventilated with people in it is what causes poisoning. So as you see here, when carbon monoxide fumes start to leak and become trapped in an area with bad ventilation, they build up, and according to the Mayo Clinic, if there's too much carbon monoxide in the air you are breathing, your ability to absorb oxygen can be diminished, resulting in serious tissue damage. And according to the Center for Disease Control, over 50,000 people a year visit the emergency room due to this, and it claims over 400 lives every year here in America. Now, with so many sources that can lead to potential poisoning, there are proactive measures you can take to reduce and eliminate your risk of you and your family becoming poisoned. How do you prevent poisoning? Prevention and precautionary measures you can take inside your home are the most important and the most urgent to address, because that is the largest group that is affected by this poisoning is homeowners. On June 11, 2013, Elizabeth Landau wrote in a CNN article that the largest group of people that suffer from CO2 poisoning annually are homeowners. Methods include installing carbon monoxide alarms in hallways where people are sleeping, check that your appliances are installed and function properly, get your furnace and chimneys and flues checked professionally at least once a year, make sure your house is well ventilated, and never leave your car running in an attached garage. Now, if you purchase CO2 alarms, get the kind that are interconnected so if one goes off, they all go off. In worst case scenarios where carbon monoxide poisoning has occurred, medical treatments are available, but recovery actually depends on how severe the exposure may have been. If you do fall victim to poisoning and end up in the hospital, there are several treatments available and they depend on your degree of exposure. And the first treatment is breathing in pure oxygen through a nose and face mask. This is used for light to moderate exposure. Pure oxygen is inhaled and it rushes to damaged cells and organs and tissues. In more severe cases, exposure of treatment consists of being placed in a hyperbaric pressurized chamber for oxygen therapy. The patient is inside the chamber and it's sealed. It's then filled with pure oxygen that is released into the chamber where the air pressure is 3 times higher than normal. This quickens the pace at which the CO2 is being cleaned out of the blood and replaced with oxygen. In extreme or fatal cases of poisoning, the victim is already deceased, so severely poisoned that the permanent brain damage can't be reversed and has already occurred. Now, these treatments will never be necessary if you implement what you have learned about carbon monoxide gas and implement the prevention methods that we covered today. We have identified what carbon monoxide gas is and how it works by replacing the oxygen molecules needed by the other cells in your body for survival. We also know that the leading cause of poisoning every year occurs in the home from sources that produce carbon monoxide, such as furnaces, water tanks, heaters, fireplaces, space heaters, and we understand that medical treatments include breathing in pure oxygen through a face mask for moderate cases and being placed inside of a hyperbaric chamber for more severe cases of poisoning. Now I've been completely informed you on the dangers of carbon monoxide poisoning. I hope you all take the necessary prevention methods we have discussed to keep yourself and your loved ones safe from being poisoned or having to undergo medical treatment from accidental exposure. Thank you.